Welcome to 2024. Hope you guys all had an amazing end to your year of 2023. Today, we're going to be diving into the energies of 2024, going through all the themes and the things that might come up this year. And we're also going to go through a little bit of what to expect in January energetically. Before I dive in, a little bit about me. My name is Emily Sheets, and I am a student and a teacher of mind body energetics, specifically for the purposes of healing ourselves and getting into the subconscious mind, healing the subconscious mind, reprogramming the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind speaks through energy and emotions and feelings, and can heavily influence our thoughts and our actions and what we see on the physical reality. So, knowing that, we're gonna dive in. I channel all these messages intuitively using my intuitive skills and abilities that every single one of you has, even if you feel disconnected from that part of yourself at this moment in time. That's okay. You do have beautiful intuition, inner knowing, psychic abilities is what some people would call it, and the ability to connect with your heart and receive messages from the divine about your life, where you're headed, what to expect. So these are, again, just energetic themes for the year. And I always say that, when it comes to looking at future energies, like to stick to themes because your decisions, your actions, and when we're talking about like collective energy, is what I'm reading today for January and for the year of 2024, that that is something that can change based on people's um, actions and choices and decisions, which is why it's so important, my work from my perspective, to work with the subconscious mind, because they're so intertwined and interlinked. So these energies, you can experience the high expression of them, the lower expression of them, or maybe a little bit of both, which is usually what we end up doing as a collective and individually throughout the year. But your choices and decisions that you make every single day heavily influence kind of what side of the spectrum you're going to experience this year. So, with that, I'm going to dive into the energy reading for this year. And again, we'll talk a little bit about January. Before I do just want to mention that January 4th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to be hosting a free masterclass on the energetics of manifestation, which is a big theme this time of year, usually around January and the start of the new calendar year. But manifestation is really the process of creation, of creating your life. And so, if you are trying to heal, create more trust within yourself, create more stability, safety, confidence. Actually, confidence is going to be a big theme for 2024. We'll get into that for in a second. But anything you want to create in your life, you're wanting to heal a disease, heal a mental illness. Maybe manifestation isn't just limited to our finances, which is how it's usually portrayed in social media and like popular culture. It's manifest your, money, and manifest your dream reality, which like usually is like houses and cars. Maybe you get into relationships a little bit, but it's so much more. It's anything you want to create in your life. And healing and manifestation are hand in hand, go like together like this. So we'll be talking about that January 4th at 6 p.m. Mountain. I will, there's a link. If you're on my email list, there's a link there. Otherwise, I'll link it under this video for you to sign up. And it's free because I really believe this is the information that we needed to be taught when we were little children, about how the world works and how we're co-creating reality, from a much deeper level than, again, traditional manifestation teachings. We're going to go into actual energy and how energy moves through you with your thoughts, with your subconscious mind, and how that creates your experiences in life. So that's free. That's coming up, and there will be a replay provided as well. The other thing I want to tell you about is my wonderful women's community that I co host with my dear friend, Sarah Heredia. She's a self discovery coach. And this is a women's group where we get together multiple times per month, and we do different things. We just did a beautiful 2024 intention setting call just last week. And then this upcoming Saturday, depending on when you're watching this, January 6th at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to be doing an Amplify Your 2024 Manifestation Circle with our women's group. So you can also sign up for that. And that's going to be uh, a session, a circle, a call, whatever you want to call it, where we're going to just talk together about our goals for 2024 and be doing some really cool energetic ways to amplify the positive energy going into those goals together as a group. So that's going to be really cool and amazing. And then the next call coming up after that is January 13th at 6 p.m. or not 6 p.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that is my healing circle that I guide a healing circle once a month in this women's group. And this month's topic is going to be breaking through self doubt and self sabotage. So we'll be diving into some deep ancestral trauma clearing, deep subconscious healing and reprogramming around those specific topics. So those are some things I've got coming up. If you feel called, there's links either on the email if you that's how you found this video, or below this video if you desire to join us. Okay, with that, let's dive in. I always channel these messages live. So I do not really prepare anything except for I go on a walk before I record these videos, and I just ask, all of my information comes from source energy, uh, infinite intelligence, the divine. I'm not channeling like some people like to channel angels or specific beings or whatever, their higher self. This I'm kind of going straight to the source, if you will. And that's where I get all my information from. And that's the energy I use to do all my healing work. So it's really beautiful. But I channel these live. I don't actually have any preparation except for I ask for whatever I need to clear within myself to deliver the highest and best message to come through. And so I already had some things come through, but I cleared it in preparation to be able to talk to you about it today. So the first energetic theme for 2024 is the idea of confidence and courage. And so, like I said at the beginning, you can experience the lower end of the spectrum of this, where you may be lacking confidence, you may be in self doubt, you may be really in fear. Fear is kind of the opposite of courage, and anxiety. And so, if you're in that kind of energy right now, just know that that is always an opportunity, an invitation for you to step into confidence, step into courage, um, in a way that you can balance your nervous system and feel regulated in your nervous system. So, it's never about going 0 to 60. And so, that's a big reminder for everybody. If you are feeling like, especially maybe you reviewed your goals and intentions from 2023 at the end of the year, and you were maybe a little bit um, feeling disappointed, or like some things didn't happen that you wanted to. Maybe you went into 2023 with that confidence of like, I'm creating that this year. I'm going to hit this goal. I'm going to do this thing. And I got to the end of the year and it didn't happen. And so maybe you are in that energy of self doubt and self sabotage. And I suspect a lot of people are, because that's why I also choose the topics of the healing circle based on what comes through of like what do people need right now. So if you're feeling that way, first of all, you're not alone at all. And it can be easy to get into those, really they're like mind traps of when we don't hit a goal in a specific time frame that we want. We can really start to doubt ourselves, our intuition, especially if we like chose those goals, chose those things to create in our life, those experiences we wanted to because it was placed on our heart to do so. But then it's like, oh, well, this didn't happen in the time frame I wanted to. So part of having confidence and courage is really also surrender. So they're like, they all go hand in hand. And I feel like those three energies are going to be really big, especially for the first 3 to 4 months of 2024. And I want to say that I want to say this too, is that there's a lot of, if you start to go down the rabbit hole of learning about spirituality and calendars and dates and times and things like that, you'll learn that there's actually a lot of different perspectives on when the new year actually starts. And a lot of people that are experts in astrology will say that the new year actually starts around the spring equinox. And I think that that is also very valid if you're a person listening to this and you're like, that's my new year. I totally, I get it. And there's also like a lot of the collective consciousness places so much focused energy on January 1st being the start of the year, that there's potent energy to be utilized at January 1st and also at the spring equinox. And you can see how the spring equinox is this time where if you're in the northern hemisphere at least, things are starting to come back to life. Things are blooming right now. There's not a whole lot of growth happening. So regardless of what where you stand on when you believe the new year starts, I just want to share like the first 3 months of the year are going to be kind of like just, because it's not like we just cut off the energy from 2023 and step into the energy of 2024. There is always going to be a weaving gradual kind of like cleanup almost and transition time, and because that's how the universe flows. The universe flows. It's never this like a rigid stop and start. So the first 3 months of the year are really going to ask you to develop courage, confidence, and like the ability to surrender your ego around timelines and how you want things to go, and just hold the vision, like confidence in your vision for what you know is right for you in your heart, and trust that, and kind of let go of the timing of it all. And ironically, I feel like for a lot of you, you do have some big things that you were manifesting last year, and it's like just because it's not here in the physical right now doesn't mean it won't be, or that any of the effort last year was wasted, or that progress hasn't been made. And so a lot of times again we get caught in these ego mind traps of, yeah, the act like the 100% goal isn't met, and we can not really look at the rest of our progress. So look at your progress, but it's also asking you to have that confidence, have that faith in yourself, and surrender the like ego need to know when it's going to happen, and keep taking those steps. And the thing is too is sometimes you might find as you're taking those heart-led steps that your path might shift. And so there are, I really feel like for a lot of people on this video, myself included, is coming through for me, that there were things that maybe you were working towards last year that you were like 100% sure it was like, this is on my heart to create. I know I'm supposed to be doing this. But then I got to the end of the year and it didn't work out, or it wasn't like where I thought it would be, or what I wanted it to be, or doesn't feel the way I wanted it to feel. And those, by committing and having confidence to your vision and just taking the steps without really being attached to the outcome is going to show you always the next best step. And for some of you, that next best step that's going to arrive in January. So January is going to kind of be an energy where you might have some big realizations come through, as long as you can try to move out of that doubt energy and into that trust, that confident energy. And you hold that, and then all of a sudden the clarity comes through. Oh, I need to be doing this when I was actually going over here. And then you might start to find that things really start to flow. Maybe your goal is hit, but it's through some other person, project, activity that you couldn't see because you were in the energy of doubt. Because doubt is like this cloud that literally energetically clouds your third eye. So the third eye energetic center is the center of a part of our intuition. We have many intuitive centers in the body, but this is a big center for it. And like feeling clear in the mind and having clear vision of where we're going. And when we go into doubt energy, which is when we can also fall into self sabotage patterns and unhelpful control mechanisms, that just further solidify that cloud and that doubt, then we have a harder time being confident where we're going and the direction we're headed, and seeing that clearly, because part of manifestation is being able to have, and like, so again, if you're trying to manifest a goal, and this is, you're like resonating with this whole conversation, manifestation's part of that. And when you are doubting, you are in this half in half out energy. So that's what you are manifesting, and that's what's going to be reflected back to you in your goals. So again, the more you can get out of that doubt energy and back into confidence, no matter what it looks like physically, that's how you're going to have the ability to see non-physically the path forward, because that's what we're doing, is we're actually all channeling our higher selves, our intuitive wisdom, our inner knowing, our heart, our soul, our like the divine creator, God, universe, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Like that's where we get the inspiration of what is the next step. And it will never be there when you are in the doubt energy, or maybe it is, but you doubt it, and so then it's just like, it's really really hard to move forward. Okay, so that's a lot about confidence, surrender. So also surrender is going to be really really huge, because you know there's so many misconceptions about surrender. And hold on, I'm just like tapping in, because I just feel like surrender is a huge block for a lot of people here. Whenever I have trouble like getting my words out about something, it's always an energetic block. So there are a lot of energetic blocks to surrendering, because so when we are in doubt, we tend to honestly take more action and spin our wheels or overthink. We get into like what I would call an overactive masculine energy of like doing and spinning our wheels, or like spending energy on things that aren't part of moving ourselves forward. And I have to say, like, if you're that person that's in that energy, like you definitely, this is not like permission for you to shame yourself or feel like you're doing something wrong. Like, man, I've been messing up my manifestations. Oh, I've no, no, don't go there either. Right. This is the part of the process of like mastering your energy, which is, and learning your lessons as a soul here. So it's like totally normal part of human life. And there's zero shame, and sometimes falling out of confidence and falling out of trust and moving into doubt. So, okay, with that, surrender though is a huge block. So surrender is more of a feminine energy, and but it requires a deep trust within the masculine side of us to be able to surrender and stop controlling, because doubt is actually often a way that we control our lives. And I actually feel called to give this download to you guys. So, if you've never done energy healing with me, and sometimes on these videos I do little mini healings, but I think I'm going to be just doing more downloads, which are just energetic instructions for your body, mind, and soul, and your cells, your DNA, to know how to live a certain way that maybe you haven't been living, to know what something feels like that you haven't ever experienced before. Because it's really hard to manifest something if we don't know those types of things. Not impossible, but it's harder. So that just makes it easier. So I'd love to give you a download now, and all you have to do is say yes. And energy crosses all space, time, and dimensions and realities. So it doesn't matter when you're watching this video, how you're watching it, even if it's like later on in 2024 or 2025, you can still receive this download. So if you would like to know how to live your life without using self-doubt to control your life, or feel in control, or feel safe or stable in your life, go ahead and say yes right now, and I'll download that for you guys. And we'll download that that's possible, and what it feels like to live your life feeling safe without self doubt. Okay. And that's where the reading will take us next. So I really see 2024 as a year of how we continue. I mean, this has been a huge theme, and it will continue to be a theme until it's resolved, which might take another 10, 15, 20 years for the collective. But it's this idea of how we relate to feeling safe, how we relate to trusting ourselves, how we relate to um, yeah, with our emotions. Yeah, our emotions and blocks around our emotions. So, safety, stability, and emotional intelligence go hand in hand. And there's so much emotional repression in the collective. Um, that first of all, you might see some changes on planet Earth. We have been seeing changes when it comes to the Earth, but all that repressed emotional energy affects the Earth as a whole too. So regardless of how you view the changes occurring on Earth from a climate standpoint, or just like natural disasters, I want to tell you from an energetic standpoint, the emotional energy that isn't being moved um, by each individual person, that's just being suppressed and stuck down. And that is being reflected back to us through the environmental changes. Um, Not to say that that's the only thing that's occurring, but it's a part of what we're seeing right now in our reality. um, so feeling safe to express your emotions, specifically express your emotions. So I see 2024 as a huge year of also relearning how we communicate with ourselves honestly and other people. So let's see. And there's just a lot of people that have blocks around that as well, especially if you're a woman watching this, because we women, there's so much, there's like, this is subconscious programming that goes back centuries. So it's deeply ingrained in your DNA, and it was probably reinforced a lot through your life. If you are a woman and you feel like you can speak your truth 100% cleanly, clearly, and you are totally 100% connected to your emotions, you are a beautifully rare gem, because most of us, that subconscious programming has so many layers to it, is so deep, and there's so much that has been repressed for centuries. It's only recently that we are starting to have, societal acceptance of talking about emotions, of women speaking their truth. These are relatively recent things. So again, no shame about if you're a person. It's like, I know I need some work, but actually, I will say this is a blind spot for most people. Most people think they're 100% connected to their emotions and they're speaking their truth, um, but they're not. And how you'll know you're not is if you have a lot of nervous system dysregulation, if you are, um, often ungrounded and overthinking things, if you have physical health challenges, that's another, or mental health challenges, those are like big dead giveaways that you're not expressing inner emotions. And actually, most people that experience doubt, a lot of self doubt in their life and self sabotage, are also avoiding emotions. Like the ways we have creatively um, learned subconsciously, again, over thousands of years, to suppress and avoid our emotions are plentiful. We've been very creative as a species of how to survive without feeling our emotions. But where we're moving, we really need to be in touch with those emotions, and whatever you want to create in your life, the way to speed up divine timing. So that's the last thing I'm going to cover for today. So I feel like 2024 and January specifically is a time for you to reflect on divine timing in your life, and trusting your soul's path. Some people don't have divine timing for certain things, like well, I'm just going to say this, some people do not have a divine timing in their soul plan to have a child, for example. Some people in their divine timing do not have a they don't have a plan, or there's nothing in their divine timing that says they're going to be successful in one particular kind of business. But that doesn't mean that you can't have family or children, or that you can't have success in business. It's just you have to find the aligned way for those things to occur in your life. And that happens through that trust, that surrender, and then the courage to feel. The courage to feel is really the last. So the courage, it's like the courage to move out of self-doubt, the courage to trust, but the courage to surrender, the courage to feel your emotions, will just help the process speed up. So some people, you can ask for, how do I move, like when you're like asking your higher self or meditating, how do I move my divine timing up, speed it up if I want to compress time? But also be careful what you wish for, because if you want to compress time with when it comes to your divine timing, you have to go through all those blocks that are in the way of that quicker, which just means that might be a little more intense for you. And if you can view it as that, of like, I asked for my divine timing for success in this area of my life to be moved up. And okay, now things are moving and happening, and oh my gosh, but I have so much to learn, or I have so much to work through. If you can look at it from that neutral perspective, that's going to help you all the more. And that's one final message I'll leave you. I could like talk all day, but one final message I'll leave you with is, really trying to be detached from your emotions. It's like, it is this balance, which sounds weird when it's like detached from my emotions. Does that mean I don't feel them? No, it means you feel them fully, completely, but you are listening to them rather than identifying with them. Because when you start to identify those emotions, that's when we get afraid of them. There's so many people I've worked with that have anger and sadness. And I want to say, if you have a lot of anxiety and self doubt, those are the two biggies that you're probably avoiding as well. Because, well, that's a whole nother topic for another day. Actually, I feel like if this is all resonating with you, you want to come to that healing circle on the 13th, because we'll get into more of that. But, your emotions are, so anger and sadness are, the big ones that most people avoid, and they are very ingenious in how they avoid those things, because they're very hard and difficult for us. And a lot of us grew up being punished, or like put in time out, or put in a corner for experience sadness and anger, and we're not actually told how to move through that. So a lot of us just learn to suppress it. um, but let's see. There was one last thing I wanted to say about the emotions. Oh yeah, that's what allows you to be able to be in surrender and to be in trust, is when you know that whatever's coming up for you emotionally, that has nothing to do with the outcome you're trying to create in your life, or what's possible for you in your life. And it has everything to do with just that's what needs to move through you right now. So again, it's this like neutral observer, not demonizing yourself, not judging yourself for your emotions, not being like, I shouldn't feel this way. Because that's a big trap that a lot of people get caught up in when it comes to manifesting, is that they're like, I just need to stay focused on where I'm going. Yes, you do. And the emotional cues that are present in the current moment are there for you to be felt and are part of that journey. So if you the more you can look at things from that perspective, the more you'll be able to have more confidence, the more you'll be able to surrender, the more you'll be able to have courage, because yeah, it just makes everything easier. And so this is a practice. And I feel like this is what we'll all be collectively practicing in 2024. And let's see if there's anything else. So, if you'd like the download that you know how to feel your emotions from the perspective of the neutral observer, the neutral witness, to listen to to listen to the messages that are contained within your emotions without identifying with them. If you'd like those downloads, go ahead and say yes. And we'll download that that's possible and what that feels like, and that you're worthy of relating to your emotions that way. So, this is what I would call emotional intelligence, because it's also a reason why people shut down their throat chakra, their communication, their expression. If you're a person that feels like anxious expressing yourself in the world or to certain people, that's actually emotional avoidance as well. Because if you were fully in touch with your emotions, you could handle anybody's reaction. So, again, I could go into a lot more about that, but emotional intelligence is so key. And let's see, is there anything else to wrap up today's video? I apologize. My video is getting a little dark. I was using natural light and the sun setting early because it's still winter here where I'm at in Colorado. I think I'm going to wrap things up for today, but I'm just wishing you the most beautiful 2024. If any of those workshops or healing circles I mentioned pique your interest, I invite you to check them out. And of course, I'm always here for one on one help, one-on-one assistance, where we can deep dive into your subconscious mind, your genetics, your past life, your soul contracts, and make sure that all of those things are supporting you on what you want to experience in 2024. Reach out to me. Otherwise, I will be seeing you soon. Sending so much love.